Good morning. It's Friday morning, December 3rd, 2021, and it's time for your morning walk with me, Sophfronia. This video is also going to post on the page for the Alma College MFA in Creative Writing. I'm the director of that graduate program, and I'm going to do that because I'm talking about creativity today, and I want to share that with the students in our program. You may have heard about the documentary Get Back, Peter Jackson's documentary about the Beatles, and a particular month, January 1969, when they were working on the music that ended up in their later albums. Now, there's a lot about the documentary that talks about how they were as a group, in terms of, did this cause the breakup and such. But what I would like to focus on is the fact that they were tasked over the course of 3 weeks with coming up with enough songs, 12 to 14 songs, for a new album and a live show. That's a huge task in 3 weeks to do this. So to me, it was fascinating watching their creative process, a stressful creative process, full of, they have this deadline pending. So how did they manage to not only succeed, but come up with great work as well? I mention it because what they do is not all that different from what we talk about, what you and I have talked about, things to do to get your creativity in motion. Number one, they create very, very rough first drafts, meaning, we think that someone might sit down and write out the lyrics of a song and work them out, but really they're working with the music first, coming up with riffs. And I was surprised to hear that they put in essentially fake lyrics while they're working on the song, which is essentially a rough first draft. So, for instance, George Harrison's song, Something, right? The whole time, you and I know that song is, something in the way she moves me, attracts me like no other lover. But as he's working on that song, he's using the word pomegranate. Something, something, something attracts me, pomegranate, right? Or they would just read words out of the newspaper and use those words. The Tucson, Arizona phrase in the song Get Back wasn't in there. It was just da-da-da-da-da, something, something, right? So rough for first drafts. Second thing, you rarely see them sitting there just doing nothing, thinking, well, I can't come up with anything. They will play the songs that they already know of other people, sometimes even work that they wrote when they were in their early 20s and just getting started. You hear them playing music by Chuck Berry, by Bob Dylan, basically getting good songs under their fingers as they play the guitar, listening to other people's lyrics. Sometimes writers will say that they don't read while they're trying to work on something, and that could be not a good thing, because sometimes it helps just to pick up a book and read someone else's beautiful words, and that can make something click and get you going. So the Beatles did that. You'll see that they just start playing other people's music, sometimes just creating a jam session just to get them going. Now, being tasked with writing so many songs in a short period of time, you might think that, when they went home at night, that they were sitting at a desk poring over, like, oh my gosh, I got to write a new song for tomorrow, what am I going to do? But that's not necessarily the case. They would fill up their creativity wells. George Harrison comes in one morning and talks about how he was watching TV the night before, right? He was not beating himself up trying to figure out a song. he was watching a science fiction show on the BBC, and he describes a scene where a bunch of people are in a ballroom, and it's kind of a surreal scene in the sci-fi, and they are dancing a waltz. And something about that time signature, the 3/4 time signature, fascinated him. And he says, and I just came up with this piece, and he starts playing what became his song, I, Me, Mine. And it is based on that waltz. I, me, mine, I, me, mine, I, me, mine. And he would not have come up with that if he had been sitting by himself, just at his desk, trying to write a song, right? So he allowed some creativity to come into him. So think about that. If you're stuck, think about other ways you can spark your creativity. You know, going to a museum, listening to music, going on a roller coaster. You know, you never know where that spark is going to come from. So those are the lessons I learned from the Beatles in watching that. It was fascinating to me because I recognized the process, and it was amazing to see the work that came out of it. Oh, by the way, here's a bonus piece. Notice when something's missing, right? You hear them talking for quite a while about how, we need another guitar. I want to play this part on the keyboard. I don't know what's going to happen. And they talk about that more than once. And then eventually, just like a couple of weeks later, the tremendous keyboardist Billy Preston happens to walk in. He comes in to visit them in the studio. And boom, they were like, oh my gosh, this is what we need. And Billy Preston sits down at the piano, an electric piano, and eventually an organ, and starts, adding these tremendous riffs to their songs. And it was a new energy, something that they knew they needed, but they weren't sure how to get it there. But I mention this because it's important also to recognize what's missing. And that will help you see when it's there, when you find it, that the difference it can make. The music that they end up playing on the roof at the end of the documentary is, even though I'd heard that music before, I heard it in a totally different way. I heard it as being so cohesive and muscular, and just this tremendous art that came together over a stressful but very focused period of time. And I found that inspiring about what can be done when your heart and mind is focused in a very particular way. Anyway, I know that's a lot for this week, but it was exciting to me, and I just wanted to share that. I'm going to keep walking. My Italy trip is on, so I'll post in the comments information for how you can sign up for that. I'm preparing for the Alma College Winter Residency, which starts later this month. I'm really excited about that too. It's a wonderful time of things happening. I hope you're being creative and making things happen too. Take care. I'll see you again soon. Bye.